Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Think, Learn, Do. For this episode, I kind of wanted to make like a auto scanner for 3D modeling. So there's a thing called photogrammetry, where if you take a bunch of pictures of an object, they can actually rebuild it into a 3D model. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. To get a better model, you have to take a ton of pictures, which doing manually sounds tedious and boring. So what I want to do is set up a little stand that I can set things on and have a camera off to the side that takes the picture as it turns it. So for that we're going to use a stepper motor, and I'm going to make a stand for it. And I'm just going to hot glue things together for now because I just want to prototype it, see if it works. So to make it look like I'm moving the camera around the object and not the object is moving, you need to make sure that there's no features for it to pick up behind it or underneath it. So that's what this black cloth is for. So it'll just like, all it can see is the object, and that's all we want it to see. Everything else will just be kind of matte black, and I'll kind of cover this with it too. So hopefully it just looks like a matte black thing. So that's the idea. And then I'm going to use my Arduino to control my stepper motor. Then for the camera, I'm actually going to use my laptop and kind of try and bend the screen so I can get a good field of view on the object. And the laptop is actually going to command the Arduino to step my motor using something called Johnny 5. And that just allows me to control the Arduino inputs and outputs and the stepper motor using Node.js. And so it'll step, the idea of operation will be it'll step, I can do this like this, so it'll step, picture, psh, step, psh, and it will just save off these pictures onto my hard drive on my laptop. And once it's done the full revolution, we can run it through some photogrammetry software. I think I'm using Mushroom, and hopefully I'll end up with a 3D model of this cat, this toy cat that I found in my kids' stuff. So let's try this out and see what happens. Next up, we need to hook up my stepper motor. I'm using this is a ULN 2003 kind of driver thing. I guess it's the old version. There's newer ones that are better. But this just has a bunch of transistors in it, so that when we command it, it won't draw too much current from our Arduino and damage it. So let's get that hooked up. Alright, so hooking this up, I've got power and ground, which I'm going to be hooking up for 5 volt and ground on our Arduino. And then there's an in 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it just means that this stepper motor has 4 control lines. So in 1 I'm going to connect to GPIO 8, and 2 to GPIO 9, and 3 to 10, and 4 to 11. And when we set up the controller, we'll have to make sure we get those pins set up correctly so that it can signal correctly on this stepper motor and get it to turn. Okay, that's hooked up. Let's see if we can get this to turn. Beautiful. It's like I planned it. So right now it's just continually turning it. That's just my test program. Alright, so we've seen that our server will turn this platform and we can make it spin. That's great. The next part of this is I've updated my code, so it'll spin, take a picture, and so we can just kind of rotate it around as we take pictures. And it's not a continuous rotation, but it rotates a little bit, picture, rotates a little bit, picture. So that's great. So the next part about this that I want to do is I'm going to take my cloth and build kind of a background and cover up all the stuff I don't want in the picture. And then we should be able to, at that point, actually run the full program and get a set of pictures, then run that through Mushroom, and see our 3D model. Hopefully it'll be just the cat. Now, the reason I'm using this black cloth is I want to be able to hide what our camera's seeing. And so I found some page that was saying that if you use black cloth, you set your exposure to really low, and then it washes out all the details on the black. So all you see is just your object. And if you're using white cloth, you do the opposite. You make it really high, and then it does it with the white cloth. So I went with the black cloth, and we'll see how that works. But let's get this set up with my cloth backdrop and everything, and we can take some pictures and see how it turns out. So I think I have this set up how I want it. Got the cord hidden by by my fabric. I've got my exposure set on my webcam to, it's like 600 or something, whatever that is. It's pretty low. I set it all the way down, and the lowest it could go was 40, and I couldn't see anything. So that's obviously too low, but 600 seems about right. We'll see if it works. One thing I did change is I had to grab the light off the back here and bring it up over here. That way you can actually see this with the exposure set that low. From behind I couldn't see anything. So I got my Arduino all hooked up. I think we're ready to try this out running the Node.js program that I've written that'll rotate it, take the picture. So hardware-wise, that worked exactly how I wanted it to. I could definitely see the picture how I wanted it. Like this was all black and I could only see this. This was pretty dark though, so I still have to play with the focal or the exposure amount or whatever. But the problem I ran into is this camera thing on my laptop. Apparently Meshroom needs the focal length or the sensor size or something, and my pictures didn't have that information in them, so it failed to find anything in my pictures. So that's not going to work. My next plan is to actually take this camera that I'm using right now to record and set it up somehow so it's kind of the same idea with my laptop where it's facing the object, it rotates, whatever, and takes the picture. Apparently with ADB shell you can command pictures with your Android phone, so that way I can just update my Node.js program to still do the rotation, then it commands the camera on here to take a picture, and then it just keeps doing that. That adds an extra step of having to go onto the camera and pull things off and put them on my computer to generate the 3D image. That's annoying, but if I can actually get a 3D image out of it, that would be a huge plus. So I'm going to try that. You're not going to see the video of it though because I have to use this camera, but hopefully this time I'll actually get a 3D model. Well, that kind of worked. As you can see from my 3D model, I got something. It didn't turn out great, and I only took about 5 pictures, I think, with this model. On the plus side, I got something. Also, my phone camera did have the kinds of information Meshroom needed to be able to get the right settings so it could actually detect the 3D model. However, you can see because there's the black stuff around there. I think it was still picking up some of the black of my fabric. So next time I work on this, a couple of things I want to do differently. I do want to make my sand be a little bit better. Make this a little more sturdy. Probably try a different cloth. I think you can see there's kind of a sheen on this cloth. That I think that might have been what the camera was picking up. And so it was kind of getting that in there. I think so if I maybe try with a more matte fabric, then I might have a better outcome, or maybe like some black spray paint or something. So, or another thing I could do is I could make it so instead of moving the platform, I actually move my camera around. That way it doesn't matter what's in the background. It'll just pick that up and be part of the model. I think if I move this, the platform, and the background stationary, and it's picking up pieces of this background, it'll confuse the software. I think that's what was happening. But anyways, I'm glad I was able to get something. I was a little worried there at the start that I wouldn't get anything, but it did kind of work. So I'm excited to try and iterate on this and make it even better. So thanks for watching.